I'd now like to welcome in our guest this morning. Her name is Andrea Marcellus. She is a well-being expert and the CEO of And Life, waking up very early for us in Los Angeles, California. Andrea, great to have you with us. The reason why we want to really start the show with you is because as a well-being expert, you're somebody who deals with, the mental aspect of things, how it can translate into the physical. You deal with a lot of high-stress environments. There's been a lot of ups and downs at the games. I'd like to start with Alyssa Liu and her redemption story last night. She came in third place after the short program, wins gold. She's somebody who, even at a young age, retired from the sport, and now she is a gold medal winner. In your expert opinion, your credentials, what did she go through? What did we witness at these Olympics from Alyssa Liu?
This is one of the best stories in mind mastery. What Alyssa Liu did is listen to her own heart, which told her, traditional training does not speak to me. This is not aligned with who I am and how I can be my best. She left and she went and she just followed a path of curiosity. She learned, she became a student in everything else, and she let herself grow and expand and find freedom in that. And then she came back to the sport, a person who was just at another level personally. And she poured that new energy, that new curiosity, that ability to be a more open student who was driven by a love of what she was doing rather than trying to pursue a result. She trained her own way. She, does her own thing. She has her own look. She has her own feel, and she is authentic to the core. And that was the path to gold for her.
She's so young for somebody, and we're all thrilled that, Team USA as a country, and you probably just heard me mention it, we had not won a gold medal in women's figure skating since 2002. So for her to accomplish that, she's set for life. We're still talking, today happens to be the anniversary of when Tara Lipinski won her gold back in 1998. We're still talking about all those big names, but her story to go from stepping away from the sport, how often do you see that from somebody that young to say, I got to go do other things. I'm burnt out. I'm not ready to continue in this discipline.
So I work with high performing professionals, and this is a struggle they have at that stage of life after all their accomplishments. It's absolutely extraordinary from an athlete this young, but you have to remember too, from the early on training, the way they even live is so different and so outside the norm, and the pressure they're used to facing. It's almost like, life on fast forward. They've had such adult level pressure and experiences. So it's incredibly uncommon for somebody young to be able to defy all adult expectations and the way things are done, and to say, not for me, this is not ringing true, and to step away, go find herself a bit, and then pour that new self back in. Adults struggle with that. So it's really extraordinary that she did, but that's why, she's now the best in the world, right?
Yes, and she has 2 gold medals because she also won one as part of the team event.
Right.
On the men's side of things, so Alyssa Liu has that, her arc is complete, I guess, at this point, even though we may see her again in 4 years. For Ilya Malinin, his story is obviously the mental fortitude is really what I want to get into with him here, because he was supposed to win the gold, right? He came in so decorated. There was so much talk about him, and he fell twice last Friday, and he ended up finishing outside, not just the podium, outside the top 5 at the Olympics. And he's probably going to win another world championship in Prague next month. But for Ilya Malinin, if you were giving him advice, or even just being able to delve into what he's thinking right now, he handled everything with grace, but mentally, how much of a struggle is just what he's going through right now? How difficult is it?
Well, it's definitely a struggle, but with all champion level athletes or people, anybody who's at the top of their field, they have one thing in common, and that is the ability to be present. They're experts in presence. So Ilya will be fine because he's done this before. This is disappointing, but every time he steps on the ice, it's with curiosity, and it's with an opportunity, and it's with a love for what he's doing. And the only way we get in trouble in our minds is when we let our mind go forward to what might happen or looking for a particular result or an outcome, or when we replay, something went wrong and we're trying to avoid that pain again. And the mind, for people who aren't, say, a champion level of something, that's where a lot of people get stuck, just ruminating and not putting themselves back out there again so fast or so quickly or ever at all, because they're afraid to fail. But he will be fine, because he is very, very schooled in taking every event for what it is in that present moment and getting back on the ice and, feeling what it feels like, his blades on the ice, being excited about feeling that jump, to be able to jump that high, to be able to spin. All of that is very present and visceral. And when he gets back out there, he is able to master his mind and be right then and there, and he'll be able to be at his best.
So those individuals that we just talked about, we're not dealing with physical ailments. I want to end with Lindsey Vonn and what she went through. I mean, even the crash before the Olympics, had she not crashed, people would still be paying attention to her story because of the retirement on her side. We talked about Alyssa Liu retiring. Lindsey Vonn's 20 years older than Alyssa Liu. So she decided to step away for 5 years, comes back, has a terrific World Cup circuit, then gets, unfortunately, an injury because she crashes a week before the Olympics, comes to the Olympics, then crashes during the Olympics, needs all the surgeries, another surgery that she posted, I think, yesterday. It was coming today or tomorrow, whenever it was. The ups and downs with Lindsey Vonn, as somebody, again, as a well-being expert, in your opinion, how do you think she has handled this, and what advice would you have for her in what's next in her journey?
So this is one of the number one things people come to me for, which is, I've accomplished so much and still I feel this longing for more. And she is a masterclass in life fulfillment, because what she did was weighed out like, is the risk of physical injury or the physical pain I have to go through to be able to accomplish what I want to accomplish, is that risk higher than the cost of regret? And for her, it is not. And I would argue for most people, the risk of failure is not as high as the cost of regret. And Lindsey, time and time again, will put herself out there for the sake of her mental well-being, so that she can live fulfilled and peaceful, knowing that she did not let fear of failure hold her back ever. If she felt like she could do it, she wanted to try, and she did. And so, yes, she has physical ailments to overcome, but, athletes of this level are going to feel their physical ailments from pushing themselves their whole lives anyway. At least when she feels that leg, she's going to feel it with a sense of peace, and that she honored herself, and that there's nothing left on that. She's clean on that. And that, she will not get to the end of her days with regret. And we could all ask ourselves, what am I avoiding in my life where the cost of regret might actually be higher than the risk of failing?
Well said. Thank you so much for your time, Andrea Marcellus, again, well-being expert and the CEO of And Life. We really appreciate it. Go back to sleep if that's what you're doing now, super early in the morning in LA. Thank you so much.
Great to be here. Thank you.